What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. We are almost at the end of our very early 2025 NFL draft evaluation. Again, this is just a preliminary preview. We're going to keep things very simple. We're going to keep things very straightforward. We're just going to look at the top prospects here as we've been doing the whole time. And now we're near the end of the list. We're just going to take a look at cornerback today. We're going to look at cornerback. Um, Obviously, this is not a position that I would anticipate the Seahawks attacking with any degree of aggression in the 2025 draft. I will say that Trey Brown is a free agent after this season, and I think he will be gone. And if the team isn't overly high on Nehemiah Pritchett being a long-term starter, or at the very least a capable temporary starter, it might not be as absurd as it seems on the surface. You've got Woolen, who might ask for an extension after this season that we may not be able to give because Witherspoon is probably going to want an extension after next season, and there's a decent chance that Witherspoon will set the market at the cornerback spot when it comes time to re-sign him. So let's say that's like $25 million a year for Witherspoon when his time comes up. Surtain just got $24 million a year. I'm not convinced there's going to be money for Woolen if and when he wants that extension. And if that's the case, then a need at cornerback is coming up sooner than people would expect. So I don't want to completely rule it out. This cornerback class is really good, but I admittedly doubt that we think about outside cornerback right now. I could see maybe slot corner, but that's something you attack later in the draft. So let's take a look at these top guys, mostly for fun, but you never know how things might break in the draft. And as you can see, we have two guys in the top two. Right now, cornerback is the top dog position in this class. And then you have two other guys that are in the first round here. So let's just go in order here, starting with the legend himself, maybe the Heisman favorite, Travis Hunter of the Colorado Buffaloes. I mean, you guys know what's up with Travis Hunter, right? He made All-American last year, even though he only played 9 games, I think. Probably would have had 1,000 yards or very close to it last year as a receiver if he had played in every Colorado game. And so far this year, he's off to a big start, but ultimately, I think he will end up as a cornerback in the NFL. He's way too good at cornerback, I think, to do anything else. Maybe you get a little bit of two-way value with him, but realistically, I think he will ultimately spend most of his time at cornerback when he gets to the NFL, where he's been very good and will continue to be very good. So what I have on him in terms of like a little scouting report would be phenomenal ball hawk skills. He's a great ball hawk, really good at attacking the ball. He's a good enough athlete to handle man coverage. His ability to move in space, ability to change direction, ability to hang with receivers as they're running deep. He's got deep speed. All that stuff is there to handle man coverage. He's great pressing at the line of scrimmage. Really good ability to throw his hands out at receivers at the line. Very hard to shake at the release point. He is a little too into using like a two-hand jam at the line of scrimmage, which can get you in trouble. But overall, he is really good at the line of scrimmage. He's got smarts and instincts to excel in zone as well. So whatever scheme you're running, man, zone, he's going to be fine. If anything, he's probably better in zone because his instincts are so good, his understanding of route concepts is so good that he'll be able to really just call stuff out at an elite level at that zone defense, that cerebral element of zone defense. His trigger downhill is great. He triggers downhill so fast. He's a very, very natural and fluid mover in space, ability to flip his hips, ability to his footwork just in general. His pre-snap football IQ is elite. His post-snap football IQ is elite. This is just a almost ideal cornerback prospect. But he does have some of the issues that a lot of these cornerbacks have. A lot of these cornerbacks have similar issues, especially this particular year. Travis Hunter has some issues with tackling. He's a mediocre tackler. He's not very strong, and he is a little bit small and thin. So he's not perfect, right? He's not going to be that Devin Witherspoon type is a run defender. And that's where Devin Witherspoon gets so much of his value, the fact that he is such a brilliant run defender and tackler. But Travis Hunter doesn't really have that. But as far as coverage goes, he's got pretty much everything you could want. So that's your number one guy. Number two, and number two overall right now, who's been number one for a good chunk of the offseason, Will Johnson from Michigan. Obviously been part of an elite defense over there for a couple years now. On track to have another really good year in 2024. 8 interceptions over the last 3 years, and that's including the one game he's played so far this year. Remember, he only played 12 games last year. He missed some time. So he, unlike Travis Hunter, has NFL caliber size. He's like 6 foot, I want to say 6'2". I think he's over 200 pounds. So he's got the size, but he doesn't really give up any athletic ability. His combination of size and athletic ability is very rare and makes him possibly more appealing as a prospect than even Travis Hunter. I could see Travis Hunter being more appealing because of what he's offering as an offensive player, but Will Johnson might be a better pure cornerback. He's got great footwork. He's got great speed, so man coverage, no problem for him. He can hang with you if you run deep. He can hang with you if you run over the middle, out routes. He's got it all. He can do anything that you need to do to keep up in man coverage. He's deadly at the line of scrimmage with his ability to cover releases, with his ability to jam, with his ability to throw all kinds of different things at receivers to keep them off balance, keep them guessing on what's coming next. Jam technique is great. His zone skills are basically perfect. His ability to backpedal, flip his hips, click and close, his instincts, his intelligence, his ability to read the play, it's all there. And he baits quarterbacks beautifully. Really good at making it look like you've got the out route, Deron Bland style, and then just jumping it and taking it away. He's a very smooth mover as well. Ability to move around in space, change direction, all that stuff is great for Will Johnson. I think he will be a ball hawk at the next level, just like he is in college for the most part. 8 interceptions over his last, well, in his career, he's played in 27 games, and he's got 8 interceptions. And you have to keep in mind, that's with teams generally avoiding him because he is so good. Again, not a great tackler. Has to work on tackling. I think he's willing, but the technique isn't really there. Sometimes he struggles to locate the ball in the air, and that, I think, limits some of his ball production. So he could become a big-time takeaway guy if he locates the ball in the air better. Like, sometimes he'll get beat, and then he'll catch up with the receiver after getting beat, but then he doesn't find the ball in the air. And sometimes I think he gets a little overeager in his press and can get stumped because of it. But great prospect, very little bad to say about him. Will Johnson, going to be a very high pick. Okay, next guy is going to be a top 15 cornerback, Benjamin Morrison of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Got to see him a little bit against A&M, part of that defense that shut Connor Wigman down, completely threw him in the trash can. He's been great. He's been great over the last 2 years. Played a full season both years pretty much. 9 interceptions. We'll see what he does in 2024. Off to a pretty decent start so far. His change of direction skills and his athletic ability to move in space, to track receivers in the open field. Man coverage stuff, very, very good. Really able to hang with the receivers in man coverage. Not going to get outraced. He's an excellent technician. That's probably the best part of his game. He's a great technician. His understanding of how to use the sideline as an extra defender, how to pass off receivers to other players in the secondary, and when to attack. He's probably the best technician cornerback in this draft right now. Really good height, really good football IQ, really good understanding of route concepts, really good understanding of spatial awareness. He's a really, really smart football player, brilliant football player, and I think that's the main thing that makes him appealing, if anything. His trigger downhill is very fast when he's in zone as well, so he clicks and closes with the best of them, guns downhill so fast. He was a locker room leader and continues to be a locker room leader for that Notre Dame defense. He has top speed to chase deep receivers, and he's got good arm length, so he's going to be able to make a play on balls that most cornerbacks wouldn't. So there's a lot to love about Benjamin Morrison, definitely worthy of a first-round pick. But he's another one of these guys, not great against the run, doesn't take great angles, doesn't have a great understanding there, and he's not a very good tackler. So a lot of these cornerbacks, that's where they need to improve. They need to get better at tackling. Sometimes he's a little bit tentative when coming up against the run. And he is a little bit on the lighter side. I'm a little worried about his size. But great prospect all around is Benjamin Morrison. Final guy we're going to look at in this video will be Denzel Burke of Ohio State, also ranked in the first round on the aggregate. From Ohio State, another cornerback here. And so far his career has been good for a good college program in Ohio State. Not a ton of ball production yet. He's got 3 interceptions in 4 years. So needs to work on that. But he's got all the athletic ability that you need to excel in man coverage. He's got the speed to keep up deep downfield. He's got excellent footwork to hang with his man. You can run any route on him, and he's going to find a way to keep up with you because he's got such great footwork and such great athletic ability. He can press you at the line of scrimmage or play back and still get it done. So very versatile. He has the smarts to excel in zone coverage as well. He's got a great click and close. So again, this is another cornerback who I look at and I go, whatever defense you're running, you can use this guy. Soft coverage, press coverage, man coverage, zone coverage. Whatever you're running, Denzel Burke should be able to do well in. He's aggressive at the point of catch as well, good at making plays on the ball. He's got good ball production over his career, just not very many interceptions. Again, I'll say it again. I sound like a broken record, but he's not a very good tackler, not very good in run support, just okay. So he's got to work on that, especially in the NFL. He is a little bit on the smaller side. Bigger receivers tend to box him out and take the play away from him. So bigger receivers are going to be a problem. And he does have limited ball production that the other cornerbacks we looked at don't really have. Maybe Travis Hunter doesn't have great ball production yet, but he's such a good receiver, it's hard to believe that he won't be, at some point, a really good interceptor of the ball. And those are the 4 guys that I wanted to highlight here. So one more video on this. We're going to do safety in the next few days. And then we'll call it good for our 2025 NFL Draft preview. See you guys later. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think.